day 22. There was an intersection back there. You could choose to go along the main route path, or you could choose the alternative path. And long story short, the main path looked like it went along a main road. And having been walking along the main road for the last, well, beside the main road for the last 8 kilometers, I was satiated. I was done with the main road and decided to, well, that's an understatement. My very being yearned to take the alternative and get away from the main road. It's funny, reminds me a bit of a saying, or reminds me of a few things. One is a song by, I think his name was Graham Connors. My mum used to like it when I was a kid. It's called The Road Less Travelled. It's a, take the road less travelled, take the long way around, ride high in the saddle. And find your own way home was the gist of it. I think I might have missed a line. That was sort of the gist of it. And it's kind of cool. I think it's a cool way to live your life. Another one is a Carl Jung saying, which is he was a psychologist and I guess a student of Freud. They worked together in Vienna, I think. And one thing he said was, follow that will, that way, which, what is it? Your experience shows to be your own. And my experience in life has always been to take the long way around, take the adventurous path. If I see a nice smooth, if I'm on a mountain bike and I see a nice smooth path and then there's a little side path, it's pretty rocky and kind of gnarly, I'll always take the side path. Now that's just me, but the cool thing about Jung's saying is, he's saying do what you do it your way. Like if you're a main path person, follow the main path. If you're a side path person, follow the alternative route. Urbanisation, true bathroom. Another thing Jung talked about was owning your own shadow. And he talked about a thing called a collective subconscious, and possibly fitting to be delving into maybe a darker side while walking through a tunnel. I don't know where I get these lines from. But yeah, the shadow side of things is becoming a little more evident on the Camino. There's somebody's got a felt tip marker and is writing on each of the Camino signposts: homosexuality, abortion, feminism. Might be one other thing, but on murder, sometimes they write murder. Yeah, but it's fair to say that like ignoring the dark side of life, you can only do what you do at your own risk. Because that is a real element of life, and walking around the countryside, it's easy to get caught up in idealism, but that isn't reality. What I take from the Jungian stuff and the shadow is that it pays to be aware that we all have a darker side, and we can all do awful things to each other. You know, in essence, we could all turn a blind eye or act in a way that's really horrible, even to people we love. So one thing I read about it is like, or heard about it is, say for example in Auschwitz, prison guards. I mean, what Jung would suggest is that we're all capable of working as prison guards in Auschwitz. We could do horrible things to people who don't deserve it, purely, you know, because of staying in accord with the orders of a hierarchy, or our being brainwashed. But ultimately, yeah, like, I mean, I'd certainly, like most people, I would like to think that I wouldn't be able to do that, but it kind of pays to reflect on it a bit and at least wonder for a while, could I do that? Because by kind of being aware of what we can do through maybe ignorance, or even by kind of apportioning responsibility somewhere else, you know, to the boss. Oh, he told me to do it. We can do really awful things. Thankfully, in most of our lives, we haven't had anything like that to contend with. But it's certainly worthy of thought. I mean, Stalinist Russia is another example, where, you know, they were shipping off and killing millions of their own people, that wasn't racially predicated killing. So again, Pol Pot in Cambodia, and probably even things that are happening right now in certain parts of the world, in Africa maybe, or other parts of the world. So it pays to be aware of this darker side to ourselves, our psyches, and with awareness, perhaps become less likely to be a prison guard in Auschwitz, and to stand up for what we think is right, and to recognize that in effect we're human in the best sense and in the worst possible sense, and the things we're capable of are absolutely incredible and also absolutely malevolent. So with that knowledge, we can perhaps love each other a little better. Taking that perspective, we can be more forgiving as well to people who have hurt us in ways that we think is completely not okay. Don't get me wrong, there's certainly things that are illegal and unjust, and society deems worthy of punishment, and sets very firm boundaries around, and those are healthy boundaries. But I even think of Pope John Paul II, who went to visit the guy in jail who tried to kill him, tried to assassinate him, and kind of embraced him. An amazing photograph of that. In some way, maybe John Paul II, having lived through the Second World War, being Polish. In fact, I think Auschwitz is in Poland. I haven't been there, but he had some deeper experience of the darker side of human nature, and he was able to forgive that guy. Pretty incredible stuff. You can do that, but not even just like fake it, but actually feel it inside. That must be very, very hard to do. But it kind of shows us a way there where actually, like, forgiveness is for us. It's not for the person we're forgiving. They say, I think it might be a Buddhist saying, like, not forgiving someone is like holding hot charcoals in your hands. You're burning your hands, and the other person can't feel a thing. Forgiveness helps us internally much more than it helps the other person. The awareness side of the shadow is pretty powerful too. Once you become aware of something, you can start to look for ways to fix it. or to accommodate it. There's lots of examples of that. For example, Alcoholics Anonymous have the 12 steps, and one of those steps is awareness. It's, hi, I'm Joe or Paul and I'm an alcoholic. Thankfully I'm not, but it runs my family, so I should try and avoid it. But I was blessed with very bad hangovers, which greatly helped my cause on that front. Yeah, so it's awareness. It's saying, I have this problem, I can't fix it. And the 12 steps are really interesting. Look them up. They're very applicable even if you're not an alcoholic, to dealing with problems in life. Yeah, it's kind of an awareness thing, an admission that you're not in control of it. You've tried everything you can and you can't fix it. Kind of a surrender to a higher power, God. And or whatever you kind of see the higher power as being. And I think it's things like apologizing to people you've harmed because of your addiction to alcohol, and yeah, I think that's the general vibe. Maybe something at the end to do with a commitment, but it's about following through those steps. So maybe in our own lives, in my life, I could go through the 12 steps for having a shadow. It would really work. It'd be like awareness. Yes, I have a shadow. I can't control it. And I apologize to the people I've hurt with my shadow, and I surrender it to a higher power, and I promise I'll be good. Actually, that last bit I just made up. The other thing with awareness is a sort of sense of nipping it in the bud. If we say, oh, I don't have a shadow, it's very easy to go on and do the most awful things. It's much easier, and without even realizing it. So yeah, awareness is very powerful.